on GT Channel with Sam Nitaani, James McKeon, and Taro Koki.
Yay.
All right, that was good. Our first
Sounded
intro music.
Sounded professional.
That's
We're
awesome.
trying to be professional here.
Okay, well, welcome to our sixth installment of GT Channel Podspeed. I'm Sam Nitaani, formerly of Road and Track, now just kind of living off.
Man of mysteries.
Man of mystery.
Bestseller novelist.
Not bestseller yet, but hopefully. To my left here is James McKeon of No Braking Podcast and our resident British car guy and car expert, and Taro Koki, who's always hustling to put this whole production together, sound and, oh, you're the sound guy, you're the video.
Host and,
Just
and
going to
all
say
that.
a big shout out as well to Jim, who says everything is looking good on the Facebook page.
Oh, that's
Thank you,
nice.
Jim.
That's
All right,
nice.
we have
Today-
a viewer. We have
yeah.
a couple of viewers.
Good.
Any of you viewers out there, if you have access to a keyboard, you have questions, comments, go ahead and send them over. We could read them live.
We can read them on Facebook and Instagram as well. We've got the magic of
you've got 'em
multiple
both.
things going here yesterday, Sam.
Today
He's
was
our-
quite a challenge.
right,
Today we're
king
live
multitasker.
we're on live on Facebook.
We've had a
we're
request.
live on Instagram.
We have, and first
Right.
of all, we want more hot version collaborations coming out down the channel. So that's
Yeah.
the first request we've got,
All
Tara.
right, well,
no pressure.
We'll definitely look into that for sure. And we're also posting all of our podcasts, audio podcasts, on iTunes now.
Yeah.
We're live on iTunes.
And Spotify as well,
And
right?
Spotify, yes.
Wow.
And a bunch of
All right,
other
so we're expanding.
audio
Multiple
podcast
platforms.
Yes. So
Well, there is a lot of inside information you could get here that we will let you know how some of our previous predictions have come to pass. But before we get started on our main car stuff, let's just see what James, what you've been up to lately.
Well, what I was first going to talk about was the Hoonigan Barnyard Bash that I attended. Huge thanks to the guys at Hoonigan who invited me out for that.
Okay.
And it's over at Irwindale Speedway there, where it happens the first weekend of the month.
Can you tell me what Hoonigan does? What are they? What company are they? What do they do?
The Hoonigan are a media machine, Sam Mitani.
They're a media machine.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can tune into their plethora of YouTube channels to see the
Okay.
daily shenanigans the team gets up to. Of course, you can watch the Hoonigan Gymkhana series on Amazon with the Prime, with the most recent one. And then also they've got their merchandise, which you can purchase through the website.
All right, that's a nice plug there.
But I will say the Barnyard Bash essentially gives people the opportunity to go out and, one might say, have a fun time with their car, as you can see in the photos that are
Well, you
probably
really
scrolling
can't
behind your
see.
head.
You really can't see the cars.
Yeah.
this image is like a cloud of just.
Tire smoke. So they really are going by their moniker of shredding tires. And as you can see, the team there enjoying the solo. I mean, it gets a good number of fans out there, and it's a good experience.
You know, this photo almost looks like the car is going into the crowd.
Well, it is wedged up against the wall, so they
Is that
can
the rear tire? Or
No,
is that the rear?
that's
the
the
front?
front of the car. That's
Uh-huh.
an Explorer. That his main goal of that car is to flip the Explorer. That's what he wants to do in the Barnyard.
Did he flip it?
Not yet,
No.
but it is. Every month he gets closer to doing it. It is not his Explorer. It is one that he borrowed from his mum.
So like regular folks are allowed to bring their cars and do burnouts out there? Is that
Yes.
what the thing is?
That is.
That's pretty.
So
And
maybe
he wants to flip it?
he wants to flip the Explorer, but maybe, Taro, it's time for you to bring that drift car out of retirement, and you could bring it around the Barnyard Bash there.
Wait, hold on. Now, are there some
350?
legal ramifications if he flips it and he dies?
Well, he signed the waiver.
I think he signed a waiver. I think.
Well,
I
let's
think
just.
The waiver
I
is like
think.
this thick.
I think that's credit to Ford for making a car that doesn't flip easy. He's
Exactly,
tried.
yes. They're doing
So
a very
let's.
good job.
And by the way, I am rooting for him not to flip it.
Okay.
All right. Now this is a wonderful photo, James, that you provided with us.
That looks like
Can't
the
frickin' see
Marina
a
Del
thing.
Rey
Tara, we're having some
fog.
complaints on the Facebook saying they can't hear us on the audio, saying it's cut out.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It has cut out for some reason.
So we're trying to fix that, even though you can't hear us, people, on the Facebook one. Poor guys. Patrick and Jim are having a real hard time.
Hard time hearing us now?
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened.
I think it's time to get a new computer.
Sam,
It's not the computer.
I like
is
this
it?
inner monologue that we've got going on in front of all our Instagram fans here.
Yeah, it's all right.
The Ardent Wolf is really concerned about the amount of car carnage that happens here in the United States. Well, I got to say that he's never been to a summer Nats down under.
How's
I
that?
mean, they know how to kill those tires.
Holy cow! Look at this.
How's that? Do we have audio?
We do on Instagram. They can hear us absolutely fine. They hear us like a dream. But
No,
wait,
like on Facebook, though. on
Who
Facebook?
knows?
How are we
We're
doing?
just waiting for a little comment to come up.
How are we
and let us
doing?
know.
Facebook?
Oh, the
Facebook
video's
crowd?
gone.
Okay. I think we're back on.
We think
No,
so.
the
We'll hopefully
video,
we're back
looks
on.
like the video's gone.
Look at that.
Wow. Hey, but it's streaming for me, though.
It's there.
Oh,
It
there
is.
it comes.
It's back.
There we go. And do we
Hopefully
have
everyone
audio?
hears.
Technical difficulties.
That's all right. So
A
what's
little-
next?
Wait, do we have
little-
audio?
Or we'll just have to keep going, Sam. We can't wait for Facebook. We've got to keep for everyone to catch up
All
with
right,
us.
anything else you want to talk about Hoonigan?
No,
Barnyard Bash?
everyone should go check it out and make sure to subscribe to the Hoonigan video channels. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, and that's when you can find out where their little events and all that stuff are, right?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, okay.
I'm not going to mess with the little inserts today because it's like messing up the thing. So
Oh, is it? Okay,
we'll
yeah,
just see it
that's
here.
fine.
We'll just
Okay,
see here and then
Uh,
post,
for-
maybe
yeah.
I'll post up better pictures.
For the
but-
audio-only guys, I'm sorry, just imagine, we'll try to paint a picture with our words.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so, what broke, news-wise, what broke pretty much yesterday and today is the McLaren GT. From what I've read so far about it from the McLaren press site is,
James's favorite British car.
British car manufacturer.
British car manufacturer.
Well, it's not a bad one. This car is supposed to be the most comfortable McLaren car ever built, and they built it specifically for Grand Touring. Even though it's a two-seater, not a 2+2, it's the most comfortable car they've ever built. 612 horsepower, twin-turbo V8, 0 to 60, they say in 3 seconds. It is still a monster. Carbon fiber everywhere. As you can see, it is a beautiful, beautiful car. And what I think is the most crazy thing about it is it's a mid-engine car, yet you still stole all your stuff in the rear trunk, and it's got quite a bit of room. Look at the golf club. That's a full-size golf
So
club.
that's on top of the engine, basically?
Probably. I mean, it has to be, doesn't it? So, because it's a mid-engine car.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
your clubs are going to get pretty hot
Yeah.
back there.
So I don't know what,
No, I think that they've probably got
I'm
the
sure they
cooling
have,
sorted out. That wouldn't worry about that
probably
too
some,
much.
some
Yeah.
heat, And so
I'd be more concerned
wonder
to-
what's in the front though, but but there's a hood latch or hood there too, so.
I'd be more concerned about having one of those golf clubs hit me in the back of the head more than anything.
They gotta have a partition or something in there because,
There's no
even if,
partition there,
well,
Alex.
even if the clubs are secure, the bag is secured, those clubs could come flying out,
Yeah, you need a like a cover on that.
Yeah, hit the front
Right.
windshield,
What
like.
I'm happy about is that you can probably fit a surfboard in there,
They say skis will fit in there.
right?
So,
Then,
yeah, probably
I mean,
short
If you
skis,
take the
but,
fins off, you can probably fit a surfboard back.
So you're saying this is going to be the first McLaren you purchased then, Tara?
To go surfing in?
hey,
Yeah.
it's $219,000 available
Bargain.
next
Oh,
year.
no
Only
problem.
Or later this year, I'm
219,000.
sorry, later this year.
No problem.
219,000.
No
But
problem.
it's not a bad car to have because it's almost a daily driver,
Jim is a big fan of the McLaren. He likes the 620S.
That means he can hear us.
He can hear us.
Awesome.
That's good. We have audio. We're back.
Everyone loved us. And we're getting a lot of likes and a lot of love on the Instagram feed as well.
Oh,
so
sweet.
everyone's smashing that like and that love button, which we're
Awesome.
big fans of.
Awesome.
Thank
And
you.
I love the orange, right? The orange, McLaren orange, which is very apt.
Correct.
What do you guys think of the looks? This is the car here. This is not rendering. This is the car.
Yeah, I mean, from the outside, it looks like a beautiful McLaren, like.
I think I think it looks better than some of the other McLarens. The exotics, the supercar McLarens, 720s or the
Yeah.
the.
That's because
Getting
you're
older.
getting softer, I think, Sam. And
I'm
you're-
getting older.
getting-
in your middle age.
You're getting domesticated.
I'm getting
Sam.
older. Yeah, domesticated. Oh, I've been domesticated. So
Not
huge-
what I've
those huge-
not what I've seen.
those huge, the huge events there, and the probably cool the engine, of course. So that's where. So you can see where the engine is, right? You see the vents, right? That's
Yeah.
part of the engine cooling and stuff.
Right.
And I'm sure it does get kind of warm. I'll bet you on there. So I wouldn't put anything like something you need to keep cold in there. But
Like your champagne,
Birthday cakes.
yeah. Like
Ice
champagne.
cream.
Well, champagne,
Right.
huh?
ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream would not be a good thing there.
Yeah.
Ice cream would not be good. So, anyways, thumbs up. I'm
What
glad.
about
yeah.
a set of lungs in case there's a transplant? You need to get them there really quick. Would you risk it?
I'd put him in the passenger seat.
All right. What happens if you're ready to pass? You just make them
Yeah.
hold them.
Yeah, make it home.
Yeah.
Hold
Okay.
it.
So what else is special, notable about this car besides the fact that it has some trunk space? some.
Well, it's the
space.
most comfortable car ever. It has new proactive damping control suspension system, which quote unquote from McLaren provides remarkable levels of comfort, combines with hydraulic steering system to deliver renowned McLaren driving dynamics.
I think if we just, I have to respond to TZL2JZ on the Instagram. I think it all really depends on how you fold them, is how that would work. I mean, I think it's certainly possible.
How you fold what?
Don't need to ask what we have to fold, Tara, but just I think it is possible. I think you could do at least 2.
Okay.
So yeah, the main selling point of this is the first true McLaren Grand Tour in the McLaren product family, alongside existing sports, super, and ultimate series, outstanding ride comfort, and segment-leading cabin refinement. So it's a car you want, it's a bling car. It's a car you want to cruise in, So, and me, I do. I used to drive the Porsche Gt3, not mine, of course, but, when we were driving test cars on the road, I tell you, we have the cage in it, but it's totally street legal. It is so stiff. I mean, yeah, it's fast.
Right? It's uncomfortable.
On a track, I could have so much fun with that, but driving it on a daily basis, I couldn't do it. Or even just driving it to the market, you just go,
Right.
Is there another car I could take to the market, not the GT3? You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So
this is kind of like a
exactly.
one you can,
This is a car I could do. I'll
Whereas
just take to the
I'm
market.
the opposite. I wanted to get it as hard and as stiff as I can take it. That's what I want.
Well, you're a younger man than me, James. So,
Yeah,
so anyway, so there's that car, and I'm more of a Grand Tour guy. I'm not more of a really.
Jim seems to think that it might have to do with the long wheelbase on this one for the McLaren, which might make a more comfortable ride.
Absolutely. A
Absolutely.
longer
Why it
wheelbase
fit
will do
your-
it.
fit your golf clubs in.
I wonder if it's
Probably
any
does, yeah.
higher.
Yeah, probably
The-
is.
does it
I don't.
sit a
I don't.
little
see-
bit-
Yeah, it doesn't say
yeah.
anything, but yeah, I'm sure
The
they
height?
made it more comfortable. So.
Sam can probably get back to us on those stats later on in the episode, but I think we should cruise on to the next
this thing
thing,
just
Sam.
yeah, this thing just thank you.
No
move
pressure.
it.
We should move it
Moving
along,
on.
Sam.
So going from these golf clubs to the Volkswagen Golf. You like the transition? So the Golf 8, we call it the Type 8, but it's the 8th generation Golf. I have been a big fan of the Golf, especially the R and even the GTI. And this 8th generation Golf, this is still a rendering, is going to be introduced later this year and introduced to the public, and then probably go on sale sometime in February 2020. And then coming later that year is the one we would be interested in, is the GTI and the really sporty R version. Supposedly this car has been delayed a lot. Its launch has been delayed a lot. They're saying, because of software issues. One of the VW engineers was saying there's more code in this car than there is in the iPhone. So there are these cars are getting pretty high tech when it comes to computer programming data, all that stuff. The base Golf will still have the 2.0 TSI engine, but will have more horsepower and torque than the current Golf. Now the Golf R right now has 288 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, which makes it a really, really fast little pocket rocket. But because of the refinement of the engine, we're hearing that the new Golf R will have 300 probably horsepower, maybe even more, 300 pound-feet of torque. So we're talking, this thing is going to be a rocket, probably all-wheel drive. So it'll keep the torque steer in check. This car will probably go 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. So it's going to be a really fast car for kind of an everyday man car. 7-speed GSD probably, and
That's not the R.
That's the R.
That's the R, right?
R, yeah. The R is going to be the very high. GTI, I don't know where, we really don't know how the engine specs yet, but I don't think, it's going to be probably a little more than what it is now,
Right.
so. Any thoughts on the Golf? Are you guys excited about an all-new Golf? Do you think Volkswagen needs to, start repairing their image after Dieselgate? And then we could talk about some of the other cars in this segment, but let's start with you on this one, Taro.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, in terms of like diesel.
There's the R.
Oh yeah, that's a good-looking car. I'm really looking forward to seeing the R for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the GTI.
Is that
it
the
could be
GTI?
GTI or the R. Yeah, it says GTI in the grill. But it's still a rendering, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
what it's going to look
So
like.
when are they planning on releasing this car?
Later in 2020.
The Purist Group just wanted to say hello to us, by the way. They
Oh,
joined
we
in.
love the Purist Group.
We love
yes.
the tours. Hey, everyone, Sean and Pierce Group guys. Hello. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to the GTI and the R as well.
Is this a car you'd buy?
Possibly.
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
As like a daily, it's fit the kids in the back. There's plenty of space.
These hot hatches, I mean, to me, I think Europe kind of invented them, and then Japan, almost, got to the same level of them. Even Ford, they build the ones, not the cars they sell here, but the ones they sell in Europe. The hot hatches are really, really great cars. So I'm a big hatchback fan. I'm guessing you are too, being from across the pond.
Yeah, I do like a good hatchback.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think it's good, and I think they need to certainly do something to overcome the Dieselgate scenario that they've done. I will say that TZL 2JZ has come in with a much different proposition this time, which we can talk about, in which he thinks they should come up with a diesel hybrid for the road, as opposed to not just having it with the, obviously Audi had something similar with the race car, where they ran the diesel, but then you could maybe do something simple with that for a road car, might help to alleviate those
I say,
woes.
well, I say just, why do we even have diesels anymore unless you're, it's a big truck and you need the torque and the thing. I mean, we're going straight into electric, so go hybrid electric. I mean, I used to be a big fan of diesels, right? Torque, you get, the clean burning, but they ain't as clean burning as we thought, is it?
Well, I think there's all sorts of technology that we can't afford to strip away at this point, and other companies have quite invested in it, and especially in Europe where diesel is much, much cheaper than petrol.
It was. I think it's kind of.
No, it's still cheaper.
It's still
It's still
cheaper?
cheaper.
I
Okay.
think they've invested like they're too, knee deep or up to here in diesel, so it's not like they can
Yeah.
like.
Well,
really
10 years ago, that's all I saw on
And I
the
think
road
that you've
in
gotta
Europe,
think
right?
that-
It's just diesels. And
That,
so cheap.
especially in Europe as well, you've got the trucks that are all on diesel, and then you've also got all
our
the
trucks are
farming
too.
machinery, which is all on diesel
Well,
as
ours
well.
too. Yeah.
Yes, but there's a lot more
But
of
I'm
it over in
saying,
Europe.
I'm saying cars. I'm saying passenger cars.
I know.
Yeah,
So, but we're talking about things in the bigger scheme of things, not just your little Golf.
Well, I'm just talking about passenger cars. My little Golf. Well, probably competitors of let's just say the R, if the 300 horsepower version when it comes out, will probably be the Civic Type R, which is let's see, 306 horsepower.
And it's not a hatchback, but let's just say
Well, it's not. This one isn't a hatchback, but to me, it's
Well, that one you
it's,
showed
it's,
me.
it's, it's
Will
the
they-
same
will they
kind.
have a
same
hybrid
genre.
version of the Golf as well? Is that-
There might be.
They
So
haven't- they haven't said
So
anything?
no.
Yeah.
no,
they'll do an electric version because they've already got the
Probably.
electric one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
for
Yeah.
the circuit
So.
cars. Jim even thinks he might buy one. He likes the look of it.
Which one, the Golf or
The
the?
Golf.
Okay, well, this is an artist rendering, so it might not look exactly like that, but I think it's very close. And me, this one, the Type R looks okay, but I'm just not a big fan of the Civic styling overall, and I'm probably
We talk about
offending
this every
millions of people
So
because I see
every
them all
episode we
over.
talk about your hate for the Civic. and
I
your
do
love
not
for it. It's
hate
absolutely
it.
fake.
I do
You
not hate it,
You
right?
come
So-
around and you said if I ever sat foot in one of those disgusting pieces of equipment, I would rather walk. I
No,
think is
no,
what
no,
you said
no, no.
last
I
time,
have a
Sam.
little glasses, mustache, those little disguise things.
Okay.
Yeah, I just put that on. I'm just
You do
joking.
a Groucho
I love
Marx?
this. Yeah. No, the Civic, it drives like, I mean, this thing, what it just set the record, right, on the Nürburgring with the fastest front drive car.
That's
so
what we
it's
talked
an
about
amazing
that
car.
last week or last month.
It's okay to talk about other things twice,
Sam, it's not. We're going to run a time crunch here,
Okay.
Sam.
No, we're
Remember,
not. No,
someone
we're
said
not.
we were going to.
The other, yeah, I know.
The other option is not a hot hatch again. Is that what you're giving me? So you said comparing these hot hatches.
But yes, you're right.
WRX
But to me,
STI,
they're the
yeah.
same kind of genre cars. Okay, this one's 310 horsepower, and yes, you do get 2 more doors with these cars, but
It should be the
Mason?
STI should be a pretty good rival for the R if it's a 4-wheel drive.
Which one?
The STI.
yeah, STI 2, or even
Even
the
the-
Civic,
even the
because
Civic, yeah, even
the
the Type R.
performance are right around.
Mason on
the same.
Facebook says he'd take the Civic. He says, "Screw you, Sam Matani."
No, I mean, I think the Type R looks pretty awesome. What would you take out of these 3? And let's just say the Golf looks like this, and it is a 2-door, so I mean,
Yeah.
and these are 3, but yeah,
Oh,
these
I
are
don't
4.
know.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm kind of a spoon guy too, so I might.
you're a Civic guy,
Yeah, I might go for the Type R actually.
Mikion?
I'm always going for the Type R. We discuss this every week.
Really?
Sam. Every time we talk, Sam.
I would go
I'm not a
Subaru.
Subaru guy.
I like
It's
the Subaru.
it's-
I mean,
I-
Sam
that-
vapes. Have you seen Sam
Oh,
vaping?
Subaru.
He produces so much
sure
smoke. The
Subaru.
Subaru fits right in his
and he,
wheelhouse.
and he also owns a dog, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have a dog, yeah, so. So you do. So do
I
you.
do.
We all have
Yeah,
dogs.
we all
I do not own a dog, Sam. There's no way you can tell me that I own a dog.
Exactly.
Kaiju Kiwis
You're
in the
probably not
house
even
again?
on-
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
I'd go for the Type R and, just soup it up a little bit with some spoon goodies here and there.
She's making a bit incognito on Instagram, but on Facebook she's blowing up.
Well, okay, so moving on. So we do like the Golf, our Golf, the new Golf. Looking forward to come in and hope they market it correctly, and leave Dieselgate behind them in the dust. Yeah. So the next car is just something I came across just when I'm just kind of surfing the net is this GTR. Now that's the front of it. Okay, kind of reminds me of those.
That reminds me of Chris Rado's Civic. Remember the Willow Springs, the button willow time attack car with the huge wing in the front?
No, but it was this. It's a Franco Scribante Racing. I mean, I don't think they would mind me calling it. Was it this ugly? This thing is ugly.
The time attack car was pretty.
But
it wasn't pretty. I mean, it had like wings like that in the front.
But this isn't for a show. It is strictly for downloads. This is a Hillclimb GTR built by a South African firm, I think, Franco Scribante. And they just raced a couple of weeks ago in a hill climb in South Africa called the Jaguar Simola Hill Climb, and it dominated its category.
Really?
So yeah, it just
How many cars were in the category one?
probably more than one, but it was named King of the Hill. Okay, so let's just say that I'm sure
Hopefully
there's
they bring it out to some, like a notable hill climb.
Pikes Peak. I say bring it to Pikes Peak.
well, then-
But they are
they
in
send-
South Africa,
Yeah,
and it
put it
is
to
a
the test,
long
right?
way.
Yeah.
I flew to South Africa 2 years ago. That is a long flight. So
Name dropping there from Sam again. It happens
South
every
Africa?
time we talk about it. Your trips all over the world, your world traveler.
International man of mystery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sam.
I never
look at
knew
the
he-
rear
he's been
wing.
to-
The rear wing is pretty crazy.
that thing.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't have a video and you could just hear, just put in, Scribante, Cribante GTR hill climb.
Yeah, we're looking at this GTR that has a humongous
And this is the
wing
car,
in the back.
this is the car in action.
You can friggin', that's like a bed.
Yeah,
It's like a bunk bed in the
Well,
front.
no, you could probably feed about 6 people. Get some tall chairs on the back wing and put your plates on there in
Have
the
a
front. You
picnic,
get a regular chain. So yeah.
And how
yeah,
many
yeah.
horsepower does this thing have?
1,600 at the wheels, so we're talking
God.
1,600 plus. Yeah.
So it's got room for improvement there since they make 2,000 on the drag strip.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
you're
right.
right,
That's
yeah.
right. That's
I
right.
think they've even done a 2,500 horsepower one, I think, in the
Really?
Middle East. I think they've got
Really?
almost
There's-
like 2,500.
In
That's a
Dubai
lot-
or
that's a-
whatever, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of stress on a lot of parts in the car.
Well, they need to go quarter of a mile, Sam. I mean,
Well, that's true. This it's pretty much all carbon fiber too. So this thing it'd be neat to kind of get some performance numbers on this or see what I'd love to see what it does on Pikes
Mason
Peak.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Facebook
that
is a
would
big
be
fan
cool.
of this car.
Yeah,
He loves
unlike
this car.
you because
Unlike me, he really, really likes
That's
likes
right.
it.
You haven't really
Likes it.
made it public of what you think of this car.
I
So
just-
why don't you go ahead and share?
I'm not his biggest fan. I will say that.
Let me translate. I frickin' hate this thing.
Well,
Correct?
I mean, it's not the prettiest car,
No, but it's
but
badass. Look at
yeah,
that thing,
I mean,
man. It's
yeah.
ugly and it's black and it's really fast. So
I'd love to see
Jim
that.
Jim
Pikes
is
Peak.
in camp. Doesn't like this car either. Tara. Jim is not a fan.
Tara, I
of
was
this car.
saying, Tara's
I
over
mean,
there.
don't say sorry. I always get it confused because you look so dashingly handsome. The pair of you, I
Oh,
can't tell you
thank you.
apart.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if
yeah.
this car comes to Pikes Peak, would you guys go and check this thing out?
I might, yeah. If I
After
might.
listening to
At least for video, I would, for
Lindbergh
sure.
tell me about the perils of going up Pikes Peak and where you have to find a bathroom.
Have you been to Pikes Peak?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to go.
Well, maybe
You have to go.
If I get invited by someone, I will. But I am terrified of the bathroom situation.
No, I mean, you just like go
What? Just
wherever.
go.
You just go wherever. That's what everybody does.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't want to be caught by a bear pooping in the woods.
Oh no, you don't poop down in
Yeah,
the
you-
hotel
you-
and
look,
then you pee up there.
I was just told by noted photographers, Sam, that sometimes nature happens, and if nature happens, you get caught out.
All right.
The
no.
issue
And the
with
long
Pike-
drop can be a long drop.
The issue with Pikes
You're
Peak
not
is
a
like
camping guy, are you?
once you go
No, I'm
up,
a glamping guy.
once you go up, it's like you have to stay there the whole day
Mm-hmm.
because you can't like obviously drive back and forth or anything. So when you pick a spot, you're there the entire day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You've
of the
been- you've
shuttle.
been to Pikes Peak, correct?
But yeah, I never went up because
but
I didn't want
to the bottom, right?
Yeah, not because of the bathrooms. I just like I'm
Yeah,
fine
the
down
goal
here.
line is a good place to actually watch it too because you can see all the cars taking off, and there's plenty of bathrooms there. But you actually want to be like kind of midway or towards the top. That's where the
But
best,
this car, I think, would be really,
best,
really
course.
awesome to see at
Yeah.
Pikes Peak. So if it is a long flight, but
I could lead a little teaser in. I might be talking to a potential Pikes Peak team for the podcast coming up as well.
no braking. Good. When? Do you know? Yeah.
I don't know. It's still to be
but
decided.
upcoming.
Sam.
Okay,
Upcoming
wonderful.
on the No Braking podcast.
Great. That's a teaser. Learn a lot more about Pikes Peak.
You talked to Dai on your
Who's
podcast.
competing with the Evasive Motorsports
Right,
car.
he mentioned that as well.
Yeah, he's
gonna
also
be-
going to. He's actually doing recce there this week, I think.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right. He's there now,
He
I
is.
think.
He is,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
yeah. He's there right
So
now.
our friend Dai Yoshihara, drift champion, will be taking on Pikes Peak.
Jim
this
even
year.
thinks we should do a live podcast or live recording from Pikes Peak. I don't know whether we want to do it from the top of the mountain where the bathroom situation is.
No,
so
we'll
quick.
do it from the bottom.
We could
We'll
do it
just
from
for here, yeah. If we find a sponsor, yeah, let's do it. But we have to find a sponsor. So anyways, moving on, the BMW released a teaser image of their 8 Series Coupe, or Gran Coupe, which
big
will
car.
be, which will join their 4-door coupe series with the 4 Series Coupe. And I think this will probably, the 6 Series Coupe, Gran Coupe, will probably be phased out, I think. And the 8 Series Coupe, Gran Coupe, will take its place. It'll probably be called the 2-door M850i, which is the 2-door version of this, comes powered by 523 horsepower twin turbocharged V8s, in these high-end cars. Has all-wheel drive, goes to 60 miles in 3 to 3.5 seconds. So almost right there with the McLaren with 4 doors.
That's a lot of car going fast.
Right now, the coupe is priced at $113,000, so it's not a cheap car, the 8 Series. So the Gran Coupe, think north of that, it's, because of the four doors, but it shouldn't be too much more. So I'm thinking, anywhere from 113 to 120. Here's some more photos of it. That is a actual spy photo of the car. Testing in Europe, so you could see how it looks. Kind of looks like a BMW. Nothing really special about it. It's a BMW.
The grill, again,
The
is
kidney
getting
grill.
bigger and bigger.
Yeah, well, it's a big engine in there. They got to cool, so
Yeah.
turbocharged 2-liter. First of all, we're not really in the market for these cars because it's a higher, unless this podcast really takes off and we get all this money.
What do you about? I thought
It's a way to
we
get
have
rich,
bags
is
of money
podcast.
outside because of our podcasting billions, Sam.
Yeah, well, that was a lie. Sorry, that was just to make you show up.
Oh, okay. I see.
But not just this BMW, guys, but what do you guys think about this trend towards 4-door coupes? Because, in my mind, coupe has always stood for 2-door. Sedan and coupe.
I thought
Sedan
that's
is
the
4-door.
definition of a coupe,
It kind of is.
right?
But
I
the
don't-
way they are doing this is they're putting 4 doors on a coupe body pretty much. So you just stretch it out a bit and force it so it's sleeker. It's not a sedan.
Right.
And it isn't. It doesn't, look at the silhouette. That really doesn't look too much like a sedan. You got a nice fastback, roof line. So, are you guys like this?
It just looks like another sedan to me. It's fine.
A sedan? It does. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a fastback was what I consider it as, maybe something like that. But I think there's not, when you look at that, especially in that profile shot, you think of the headroom in the back there. I mean, a tall guy like yourself, Sam. I mean, what, you're 6'4", 6'5"? I mean, you'd have a hard time fitting in the back there.
6'5" with the afro.
Yeah.
I do like the styling, and I like it.
I mean, it's all
4 doors
very
because
tidy.
I like it, but to me, it's not a pure coupe or a pure sedan. So, but I mean, I saw the 6. If I was, I'm right down the middle because if I was going to buy a coupe, I'd buy a coupe. So I'd buy, if I was going to buy a Porsche 911, I mean, I don't want a Panamera. I don't want a 4-door 911. Oh, God forbid. Or, I would just say, hey, if I want a 4-door, I'll buy a 4-door. A sedan where I could, with the usable. It's just like you said, with usable roof, headroom and everything. But they do look good. It is
If you're a guy that
mix of two.
I mean, it's not like a like a chauffeur kind of car either. But if you're a
No,
dude
because chauffeur,
that,
you sit in the back.
right,
There's not much room in the back.
so but if you're a guy that drives to work and like occasionally might have passengers in the back, something like this might be okay
But if it's
for you,
that
right?
occasional, what about a 2+2, right? You have seats back there,
Well,
even though
then-
some of them
yeah,
are unusable.
but they're unusable,
Yeah,
right?
some of them are.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's 2
your
plus
feet-
2. I mean, for this, you're looking more for the boot space, I think, rather than the passenger space in the back. So as
Yeah, you
Taro
got boot
says,
space and,
it's more
Right.
practical if
It's,
you
it's
have
a little,
the...
it's a little
two.
bit more practical, right? You can
Yeah.
you can actually fit
I
people
mean,
in the back, and without
Taro,
like,
could you fit the family in that car?
I think so. My kids would definitely fit in the back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the dogs.
His
and
kids are small.
and
yeah.
my dogs are
You
small.
could use
so-
this, yeah. You
yeah,
could use,
but
I
You
could
could
use
not ferry around 3 San Matanis because obviously the height there.
exactly.
this. And the
It's
width.
too tall.
No, probably the width, yeah. But
Jim,
anyways,
Jim is just impressed about all these 600 plus horsepower cars.
yeah,
And
no
he's-
kidding.
he-
They are really
They're
I mean, it
crazy.
just
just seems like a
getting
base number. It's
crazy.
1,000 horsepower for a hypercar or a supercar and 600
Yeah.
for just a regular.
Well, this
four-door
is way
sedan.
more like in the 500 range, I think, right? Isn't that what I said?
Sam, you
I
don't know
can't
what you
remember.
said? Come on, man. What is this?
I don't know. I mean, it's.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
yeah,
like,
523 horsepower, probably.
I'm
I mean,
not
let's be honest. There's not much
complete-
difference between 523 and 600. At that point, then really, you're just dragging along for the ride.
I don't
That's
completely
I'm
hate this, though. I don't
Unless you're on a
completely hate it,
racetrack, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't like sedans that much, so it's kind of like a good hybrid.
You see yourself in 10 years driving something like this?
Yeah, I might.
Here are some of the other ones on the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT 63 4-door coupe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This one's about 137 grand,
Yeah, it's
577 horsepower.
That's a
It
good
looks
looking car.
pretty.
I like-
It's a good-looking car.
Yeah, that's a very good looking car.
You know?
Yeah.
Here's the. This is a little upscale, but the Rapide, right? 4-door, 565 horsepower. This is 207K. It's $207,000. So that's a little more. And then, of course, the Panamera,
Right.
which is pretty much the
Hey, did you guys
starter.
hear about them? Was it? They're trying to make a 928 revival with the Panamera chassis.
Platform? Really?
Yeah, platform. Have you heard about
They'll
it?
probably shorten that thing
Am I
because
just bullshitting? I don't. Well, yeah. Just-
No, it's I like the 928.
yeah, yeah.
So
They're like.
I think it's a
heard it
project
somewhere.
that Sam should start, myself. Sam should do it. Sam should get 928 and just slip that powertrain right in there.
and that thing came with a V8.
Yeah. It's
Porsche
like,
was
I
known
didn't,
for
I didn't
its
think it was a bad
six
idea. I was like,
cylinders.
yeah, it was a 928 revival.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many Porsches that out there that that are not available anymore. You're going, what if they brought that back
Yeah,
at me
right.
from a 914, even a 912?
Yeah.
I would love to see a 912 come back.
914 would be.
But anyways, here are the 4-door, the 4-door
Four-door
coupes that are going to be going up against the BMW. But what's funny is Japan does not really have a 4-door coupe. The LS 500 is kind of close because they've made it kind of a fastback. But what do you guys think about? Oh, this is another lower end Mercedes. Something like
Dun,
this
dun,
that one of our artists came up with is a 4-door GT-R. I have heard no talks about it from except the Japanese car magazines saying
We've
they
seen
are
this before, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you can see because the front of this car it has the old grill. So this is a little older model, but it's still around there. Around the rumor saying Nissan just might say, hey, we're going to build us we're going to stretch and build a 4-door out of this. Does it make sense?
Well, I mean, it's not like they haven't done a 4-door Nissan Skyline in the past.
Well, I mean, the Skyline was what G35, Infiniti G35, but not a GTR.
No, but I mean, in the older versions, the R34 had a
4-door.
GTR 4-spurt in the Nürburgring. Was that 4-door? If I
No.
no. Spec 2?
No, they had a GT, the GTSs. They
Yeah,
had
yeah, but not
No,
GTR.
but they had Nismo did special editions, I think, where it was a 4-door in the Nürburg 2 spec. I'm pretty sure. Sam might be able to check, but I swear it was a 4-door.
Really?
I think so.
R34?
It could be R33.
R33.
I don't think there was a
No.
4-door R33.
No, because R33 was GTST, came as the 4-door.
They had a GTS 30,
4-door.
R34.
The magic
4-door.
of Google can bring all these questions up, and Salman can tell us right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the current GTR, the R35, has always been a coupe, but
Yeah.
the previous
yeah.
models,
I
have-
think
they've,
there was one.
they've
What?
had 4-wheel.
Oh,
They have,
okay.
they've
So
had
good,
4-doors.
good to know the English guy in the room knows all about the Japanese cars.
Yeah. I wish I could show it to you guys, but yeah.
Which one is it?
Is it the GTR? R34 GTR? Oh no, this one's GTR look. So yeah.
Anyway, Sam, we'll
so-
save it for another day. If anyone want to check,
Yeah,
they can
sorry.
obviously tell us in
Yeah,
the comments.
right.
But anyways, there are images out there.
Yeah. So it's not
But what do you guys think about?
completely-
Yeah, but you know,
yeah.
the R34 is never sold in the U.S.
Yeah.
This car would make a lot more sense in the U.S. than it does in Japan. What do you guys think? Is this something the Nissan should look at? Is this just, it would be just a complete waste of time?
I think it'd sell. I think it was a 4-door GTR. I think it'd sell, no problems at all.
You think it would sell?
Yeah.
Really?
If you were in the market for a GTR, would you buy a 2-door or 4-door? If they had a 4-door?
I'd probably get a 4-door.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, how much more extra weight's it going to be? I don't really need the performance is not going to drop too much.
No, not too much.
Right.
It'll be plenty for them.
So I'm not going to see any discrimination there, and I get the 4 adults in it. Easy.
Would you buy an M3 or M4? M3 because it's a 4-door?
Yeah.
BMW? Yeah?
Yeah.
How about you?
I just think a 4-door is more
BMW,
practical.
yeah,
As-
4-door.
For this car
For
and this
GTR.
segment, I think that I prefer a 4-door over a 2-door. I just think I can get more shopping in. It's easier at the store.
And you're not really giving up much performance out there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
like you
don't
said,
know.
it's like 600 horsepower. I mean, there's real negligible difference there at that point.
I don't know. For a GTR, I think I'd like to stick with a coupe.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if it's a 4-door, if I'm looking for a 4-door, I'll buy,
A sedan?
a sedan or, BMW.
Jim doesn't want to see a 4-door.
He doesn't?
I
He
just
doesn't.
don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it.
It doesn't look bad. I mean,
R35
and the
four-door,
R35, the
I don't-
R35 body style, I think kind of lends itself to being because it's a little boxier. It's not like
Yeah, yeah. And it's
swooshy
got
like-
that little.
Soul Apostle on Instagram thinks that a 4-door would look sick.
And I'm
looks
sure
sick.
sick means good.
He does. He does. I mean, they had the stage year, right?
good.
Where it was station wagons for a wagon. I mean, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a wagon. Need to bring back war wagon supercars.
Yeah, like the old
I
R34
love
Skyline
wagons.
4-doors.
Yeah.
I like them.
I love wagons, so yeah. So, all right, so we're kind of split on all this. But I mean, we probably won't see a GTR 4-door. Well, you never know, but
And not here anyway. It's not even going to be in Japan.
Well, the
Well-
way they're milking the R35, they might though.
But these-
But then I think they can't because they're going to. If they do, there will have to be an R36. I think if they're going to make a change is too late to make it that car now.
it is with this old
Yeah.
Too long
chassis.
in the
Yeah,
tooth.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, the 8 Series, I'm looking forward to actually. This might be a car I would think of buying if it might be a little big for me, but 8 Series or Panamera.
I'd take the Panamera.
I'd take the Panamera too.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Then Panamera and the Mercedes.
I'd take the Panamera.
That's a good.
But then I'd take
That's a
the
good
Aston
one.
Martin out of all of them. Over all of them.
No, I didn't. I did not offer
I know,
the
I know.
Aston Martin.
Because you're about to, and I'm going to take the
No,
Aston
I'm not
Martin.
going to because it's $200,000. We'd all take the Aston Martin.
But I'd take the Aston Martin Rapide E, the new one that they just announced.
Oh yeah, that would be
Yeah,
awesome
that's the one
too.
I'd take.
Yeah. Ty, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This- but
You just drive both of them and see which one kind
Yeah.
of hits you. Okay. Well, moving on. Last episode, we talked about Mazda announcing that it was working on a couple of front engine, rear drive platforms.
Mm-hmm.
No one else knew about it in this country except us.
Heard it first.
You heard it here
And
first.
on
We broke it.
Podspeed.
And last week, everywhere, Mazda, I guess someone leaked something that from Mazda's one of their meetings. I don't know if it's leaked or if it was actually announced, but they announced they're going to be building inline-six engines, which will be mounted horizontally, which means if it's up front, that drive shaft's going straight to the rear tire. So we're talking rear drive platform. And that just tells you we were way ahead of the curve.
We are always
Heard it
ahead
first.
of the
That's-
curve.
Our research department did
That's
a
one of
great
their,
job.
right? That's one of their
Renderings?
concept cars. So it won't look like. I mean, this is one
this
4-door coupe,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
That we were
4-door
just talking
Aston
about.
Martin, right?
Exactly. Well, God, it does, right? It does look like it. So, supposedly it'll be
And then after this, they can go with the RX-7 to bring that back, right?
well, that's another. That's
that'd
who
be that
knows
same
because
sort
they'll
of
have a FR platform, right?
Yeah.
So. Their new sedan supposedly sedan and coupe. We heard that they're coming out with will have a SkyActiv X spark plug controlled compression ignition, so it'll have all the latest technology. There'll probably be a hybrid version included, and Mazda, it looks like their whole brand strategy is to become more of a luxury brand, and which I think could work. Something closer to a BMW, maybe a little higher than a Subaru. Because Subaru considers themselves a premium brand. We are hearing any time from next year on to 2025 that this, and this is the rendering we showed last week.
Last
before,
month. So.
last month, I'm sorry, before anyone knew. And this is a coupe version and a four-door version. We don't think it's going to look like this because it's just the artist rendering. But what do you think? You think Mazda should be pursuing building something like this, a traditional sports sedan instead of their Mazda 6, which is front drive, front engine?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talked about this, the same sort of thing we mentioned
Driver's
last week.
car, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the cars, while they're not, they're still fun to drive. They come with you can all get them all with manuals. So they are fun to drive, and they're frugal on the petrol because of the Sky Active technology. There's lots of magic into it. As we talked about last time, I had a great time in that Miata. So I think that it's natural that they're making good cars. It would be great to see some different ones come through the pipeline.
Yeah, because their only front engine rear drive platform right now is the Miata one.
Yep.
So
Right.
a bigger one, and like you said, could it open up the possibilities of a new RX?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We would love.
7, yeah.
But I think
Or
pretty
even
much
an
the
8.
rotary engine, I think we've seen the last of. What do you guys think about Mazda becoming a premium brand?
I think
Do you
it-
think
I
they
think it's
could
a good choice.
Do you think they
Yeah.
could become an Acura? They could become an Infiniti?
I think so.
Probably not up to a Lexus, because Lexus is.
Yeah, probably not to a Lexus, but I think they can kind of up it, with the cars
Sit
that they're
between the
coming
two,
out.
I think, yeah.
Especially with the, FR platform, I think.
I think it's
I
going to
think-
take
I
some
think-
time, but I think they could easily get to Acura,
Yeah, I mean, it'll take some time, but.
especially if they have a pretty hot sports car in
Right,
there
and
too,
they're
like
not,
the
they're not
NSX.
selling a lot of cars anyway, so
No,
I
they're
think
not.
it's.
I mean, their SUVs are selling well, right?
Right,
Yeah.
but, the SUV.
Their SUVs
having
are really good.
SUVs, it doesn't mean that they can't be a luxury brand at all,
Right,
right? So,
right.
it's not like they're too heavily, invested in like the econo cars out there.
Right,
So I think if it's anyone, it's an easier jump for Mazda to kind of move up the ladder.
Sol Apostle makes a point that he seems to think that most car companies are steering away from sports cars.
Oh, they are, the volume, I mean,
definitely.
there's
I mean,
no
I think
volume,
it's-
it doesn't make money.
It doesn't make money, but if you can already get, for example, in that Mercedes or BMW that we just talked about, that is 500 plus horsepower, I mean, that's more sports car than you could ever need,
No
and
kidding.
that's just in a four-door sedan. So everything could be considered a sports car now, basically, from what I think.
Well, and the Mazda, they say they're going to come out in 4-door and 2-door, so that's what we hear,
Yeah,
so.
I like Mazda going the sports direction. I mean, we've talked about this in the past, but
Yeah.
they haven't really done a great job in terms of marketing and embracing their motorsports heritage,
Yeah.
right? So like something like this could mean, a
Jim
lot-
on Facebook thinks that he doesn't like the front overhang on that concept. He thinks it's too much.
But it looks
But that's
pretty
the
sleek,
concept,
but
though, I
that's,
think. But then if you look to the
yeah.
renderings they've got afterwards, I think it's really cut back down from that.
yeah, well, I think it's
But
okay.
everyone's got a personal preference. Sam.
Exactly,
I mean,
when
that's
it's-
what Jim thinks.
exactly,
You
when
think
it's
Jim's ideas is terrible.
I did not say
That's
that.
exactly that's what I heard.
Okay, so moving on to another Japanese car maker that's actually bringing back, we hear, an established brand and recreating it is Nissan again. And this will probably not be for the U.S. market because they never really sold the Skyline here. The Skyline was the G35 and G35 Coupe, which they call the Skyline and Skyline Coupe. Then the GTR is a Skyline GTR, but the new GTR doesn't have the Skyline moniker. So here's the new Skyline, which is Skyline's always stood for, well, pretty much a sports sedan, front engine, rear drive, sporty yet comfortable. Here's a 4-door version and a 2-door version. It both has the kind of the V-motion grille. Let's see, because Japan doesn't have a Maxima or Altima, they have a Tita and the Fuga, which is an M30. Is it M35 or M30? Whatever that car was, the Q. Oh yeah, they hope we'll go with Qs now, Infinity. This will be smaller than the Q50, totally different styling, so it will not be our version of the Skyline. Like they mixed the Infinity and the Nissan brands. They say it might get the 1.5 liter turbo e-power, which is in the IMQ show car. So that is a hybrid where the 1.5 liter is just a range extender. So it's pretty much a series parallel, series hybrid. So the engine never drives the wheel. 335 horsepower total output, 516 pound-feet of torque, which is probably coming from the the motor generators. I wouldn't mind seeing this car in the U.S. to tell you the truth, because Maxima's front drive. Altima is too. Here's the rear version of the two-door.
I mean, I think
It has the Skyline circle headlights.
I think this is it's a very interesting design for these two renderings. I think someone has channeled there very much. If you go to the other picture,
This one,
that someone's channeled very much their inner Cadillac XLR, and then if you flipped the other image, it's someone's channeled their inner RX-8, and then they've just put the two together and said, you know what would look good? An RX-8 XLR.
You know what? I'll bet you their insider, the Nissan insider, told the artist, yeah, imagine a Cadillac
XLR.
and XLR and RX-8 and put
together.
them together. He goes, all right, and that's what he
done.
drew. Exactly.
Kind of looks like a Camaro too, though.
Yeah, it does.
The
The
blue one.
kind of boxy, but still
boxy.
kind of aggressive. Yeah. You know what? It could be like a Japanese version of a Camaro.
Yeah.
a muscle car, Japanese muscle car.
Japanese muscle.
Solar Apostle thinks it looks like the 300C at the front there.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
The boxy stuff in the
the front, yeah.
So it could be a Japanese version of a muscle car, which I think I
How
would
can you have a
love to see
muscle
this
car
car.
with a 1.5 liter engine? Sam?
Because it has 335 horsepower. And
Well, I'm
one-
just saying, it's not really a muscle car.
Excuse me, the Mustang has what is that, hybrid or
a
there's that
Mustang.
isn't that an electric Mustang or something? We reported on some a pretty fuel efficient Mustang.
Well, they have obviously the 2 liter.
The 2 liters.
Yes.
That's not a muscle car. Still, Mustang's a muscle car.
A Mustang is not a muscle car. Mustang's a pony car.
Pony car. I'm sorry. Okay, pony. Then pony car.
Sam, you got to get your facts right here.
Pony car. Then
Sort of, yeah.
yeah, Japanese version of pony car.
I think it's just. I still think it's just I can't get the Cadillac XLR out of my head now with this.
But would you like to see this car in the States?
I would love to see
I
this
would
car.
think of buying this car, actually. Front engine, rear
Well,
drive. with all
I'll
the
be in my Civic Type R, and you guys can be in this.
And
That's
would
what
you
I
say
I'll
this
be
car would be
more
a little
comfortable.
bit more compact than like the Maxima and the?
I would. Well, the two-door, they have a two-door version, but yeah, probably because Maxima's pretty long.
Right,
It's-
yeah,
Yeah, I would say between the Maxima and an Altima,
Yeah.
size-wise.
Yeah. Is Altima bigger than the Maxima? They're kind of like the same size.
What?
aren't they? The Altima and the Maxima.
No, Altima's small. A little
Altima's
smaller,
smaller?
Yes, Mason, it's still live. Just wanted to let you know. Mason was asking if we were still going live.
Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
we are
You
live.
might
yeah.
have fallen asleep there.
Sorry,
so
yeah.
wanted to do
Good
one of
morning,
this out.
Mason.
He needs
So-
his coffee.
Do you think it'll cannibalize Infinity sales if they did bring it?
I don't know. If it's a Nissan, if it's priced right, and if it's a little bit more sportier, maybe not. I don't
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I'd love to see this car.
Yeah. Even though James is just,
it
the
just-
artist, I think the artist just emailed me. He's like really, really hurt.
Yeah, well, that's okay. We can discuss it when you get him on the podcast.
He is really hurt. Oh, let's put him on your podcast.
We can discuss how
He
awesome this
says,
design
I will
is.
never do his podcast. Jameson. You have offended my family. Is what he
That's
said.
okay. That's okay.
My father will not talk to me. That's what he's saying. So
Hey,
It's all
anyways.
right.
Hey,
My
that's
father
all right.
won't talk to you either,
He
Sam, so
won't
it's
talk to
totally
me.
fine.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
like it though. We like it
So
though. It's
anyways,
like kind of a
from here-
Japanese pony, Japanese Camaro.
Pony,
Yeah.
muscle, pony, whatever. Okay, so moving on from there, I just wanted to put this in here because I think this is probably one of the, I don't know if it's, I guess ugly, but really cool, is so ugly and cool that I would want one, is the Lexus LM300
Oh, God.
that they introduced in Shanghai.
Yeah.
It is a minivan by Lexus. I'm sure we probably won't get it here. It's based on the Toyota Alphard, which I'll show later. But listen, okay, all right, this
Is it too bad to say that Alphard sounds too close to Alphard, that it's just comical at this point?
only you would say that.
I mean, you.
Alphard, yeah, it's
all
not really a good.
A lot of the Japanese names have like
some weird,
would
it's-
never fly anywhere
No,
else.
exactly.
Right?
So yeah. So, anyways, this LM300 Lexus minivan with the spindle grille and everything, which it's awesome. This is definitely not a van for soccer moms. From this angle, you could just tell that.
By the way,
This is-
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Didn't Toyota have a minivan called the Emina? Right?
They did, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
I think also
Terrible
Sam didn't have the enema, but he had an enema.
yeah, it's like it sounds exactly like Enema.
It is.
Terrible. All right,
Hey.
sorry.
Okay, well.
Jim
moving-
thinks the Lexus needs a bigger grill.
Yeah.
So this is front engine though, right? Rear wheel drive.
Yes, of course.
So how
All
big's
for
the
it.
engine in it?
3.5 liter V6.
So they need to take that out. They need to put the 5-liter V8
They
in.
have a hybrid system. Why
And
would you
then-
want to do that with? I mean,
Because it could be, you forgot the dodgy barn racing. This could be the next thing, is minivan racing. I mean, think of that. I mean, all you want to be is like 550 horsepower in this, and thinking about going sideways, it'd be a great drift taxi.
I think this will sell very well in Japan, though.
Yeah, very well. There's a
In Asia.
well, this is meant for the Chinese market
Chinese market,
because
but it'll
it
do
is not
good.
for you to drive. It is for you to be driven in.
Driven
That's
in?
that's all it's made for. So those doors are opening for you, the rear doors, not the front doors.
right.
I mean, here's the Alphard. So that's the Alphard. So I think it looks better than the Alphard actually. The Alphard's pretty ugly.
It definitely looks like an old fart to me. That's
Yeah,
what I'll say about that.
okay, all right. So I see where you go with
Don't
this.
there's people.
Okay,
they
but
have
here,
people?
but this is the car's charm point, not the rear. That's how it looks from the rear. Right here, this. Look at this. You have a 26-inch TV. You don't even have to look at the driver.
Right.
You're just
I wouldn't
massage
want to look
seats.
at the driver.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got a TV. I think I got a picture. Actually, is this Taro?
But-
I think I got Taro here.
That's me relaxing. in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
What
So
system does it drive? Has it got the UX, the finger touch entertainment system in there again?
I don't know. Look, you can see the rear, center console there up. So, but yeah, it's
If it was
dude, this is-
touchscreen, that'd be perfect.
And it,
Wait,
it has
but
a refrigerator inside. It's got,
Does it have another row in the back behind that?
No,
car?
no, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's why. Look at the legroom he has.
So it's a two-seater.
Well, four-seater because
the
you got,
back.
yeah, for
Yeah.
the back. Yeah, it's two-seater. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, that's why you
Airplane.
get drunk.
It's-
It's like an airplane. Yeah.
It's your Maybach
Yeah.
for the minivan.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, look
Got
at
it.
look at that. I mean, there's your controls.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways, I don't know what it's probably going to be about $100,000, because it's
Maybe more. I
Yeah,
mean,
because it's for the rich,
it's like
rich
it's
Chinese
like business class
millionaires.
on wheels,
Yeah,
basically.
so-
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it.
But I definitely want
love
to
it.
see this in race trim, and it needs a roll cage. That's gonna be great.
I just want to be
Let's
driven.
bring the Alphard then.
I mean, yeah. So, anyways, this is so.
Fredo has joined us all the way from France, which is very nice of him.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah, French people don't like English people
Sam,
bastardizing their
Sam
language.
sees London,
Yeah, we're
Sam
Japanese
sees
people.
France, Sam sees Taro in his underpants. Is that what the story goes?
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. So moving on from this car to a car that I am thinking I would maybe be in the market for, but where it depends on what price it comes in, is the Taycan. It's spelled Taycon. It looks like Taycan, but
Taycan, but Taycan.
I've heard that it is pronounced Taycan. So
Take on Me by Aha.
very good. Okay, we have the king of pun here. Very good. Anyways,
Oyaji shut it. Oyaji gag.
okay, and Taycan supposedly means lively young horse in some Eurasian language. So
Taycan?
it's made for us. We're lively young
Taycan
horses.
means core in Japanese.
Oh, but Taycan.
Taycan.
Yeah, so Taycan. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, but this is Taycan. Okay.
Tara, stop making jokes. That's only for
no.
me. I'm only going to
You
make
two,
jokes.
you two are coming up with the old man
Old-
gags. Yeah.
old-
All right. So
old
we're gonna
man.
move on. We're gonna lose our
Oyaji.
younger
Oyaji gag.
viewers. This is based on the Mission E concept, Porsche's electric car concept, which has 605 horsepower from an all-electric drivetrain. So we're
So you were
probably
thinking
looking
about
something
getting
like-
this? So-
Well, no, probably not. It's gonna be a little too much.
Because
money.
you know-
all electric?
You know this
All
is,
electric.
You know this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the target for this is against the Aston Martin Rapide E. That's that's who they're going against.
Oh, that's right. The E. Yeah. Oh, that's.
So I didn't when you said I'm going to be picking one of these up.
I'm not going to be picking one. I'm going to see
Tara,
where
did
it
you
is.
hear him say that?
I
I
would-
definitely heard him
who
say
knows?
that.
We'll
I might be
Well,
in the
if-
market for it.
If our podcast takes off, all right.
Okay.
So
It is,
They're
yeah.
saying this will probably do a sub 8-minute mile on the 8-minute lap on the Nürburgring, which puts it in the same category as the GTR. GTR Nismo did it in like almost 7 flat. So Aston Martin V8 Vantage did it in 7 minutes and 50 seconds. A few 911 GT3s did it just under 8 minutes. So it's going to be a very, very quick car.
And now that car is obviously from Germany, but we are here in Los Angeles, California. Isn't that right, Sam?
Yes.
Because Fredo was asking that question where we were based. He just wanted to know where we
Oh,
were.
LA. Yes.
we're in LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
This car will probably come with 3 different power levels, 400 horsepower, 540 horsepower, and 670 horsepower version from a couple of battery packs, an 8 kilowatt and a 995. So we'll have, Porsche is saying, with an 800 volt charging system, you can get a 60-mile range in 4 minutes charging, or 250 miles range in 15 minutes, which is starting to take the range anxiety out of the equation. If you could find a charging place, on a long trip or something. But for a day or even a week, 250 miles is plenty for a lot of us, right?
That's good, yeah.
Right now, Tesla's 480 volt version gets 170 miles in 30 minutes. So, and Tesla is not bad.
Yeah.
Electric motors at front and rear axles like Tesla, so it's probably a 4-wheel drive system. We're hearing it start around maybe 75K, start going up to 100, I'm sure, north. Guys, do you think these EVs, pure EVs now, and
Does it
we hear
have-
there is they call a Turismo version, which is a wagon, which would be pretty cool. I like
Do
wagons,
they have
okay?
like the autopilot mode like the Teslas do?
Could be. I haven't heard about that.
You mean the
so.
not auto driving?
The not auto driving, yeah.
Not autopilot.
Right.
I think it might have lane assist, I'm assuming, and it will have drive-by
I'm
distance.
sure.
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure.
They have to have that now.
Well,
So
they-
guys,
yeah,
what do you guys think? You guys think with cars from Audi, Mercedes, other car companies now coming up with all-electric, exciting all-electric cars, you think Tesla's days are numbered? Tesla's going to be going down, or should it not affect Tesla at all?
I think that Jim says that he might be wanting to purchase one of these used when he can, because he had the interesting tidbit that Walter Roll was not a fan of electric vehicles until he drove the Taycan test car, and then he approved it and said this is a fantastic vehicle, so everyone should have one.
King of the
We should
Rain.
get Jim on the show. I mean, good. That's good
Really?
research, Jim. Thank you.
Good job, Jim.
So,
Are you saying you want to step aside, Sam, and let Jim take your place?
absolutely. If he's, but what do you guys think? Does this kind of car spell trouble for Tesla?
I don't think so.
I do.
Really?
Okay, yeah,
Really?
I do.
I don't think so. I think they're kind of like a different.
About
different
I
market.
think 8-9 years ago, someone asked me, "Hey Sam, should I buy some Tesla stock? What do you think?" And I told them, "Absolutely not, man. When some of these other car manufacturers, start, the guys who've been building cars for 100 years, start building electric cars, they figured out, Tesla's going to be gone." At that time, I think the Tesla stock was at $70. It's like, climbed to over 300. They go, what happens? I don't know. Sorry, I commit a lot of. I'm sorry. So I have been known to be wrong on
About
the demise
Tesla.
of, especially Tesla. But I don't know, man. I mean, I would buy one of these before I buy a Tesla. I mean, what about you guys?
Well, I've got an electric car and it's on a Tesla.
Say again?
I've got an electric car and it's on a Tesla.
You do?
Yes,
What do you have?
the Fiat 500.
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Remember,
see.
that's the one that his wife drives.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's,
Yeah.
So, I
That's
mean,
how much he pays attention.
exactly, you never listen to me, Taro, never.
I'm Taro. I'm Sam. He's Taro.
Well, I was talking to Taro, Sam. Don't think it's always about you, just because you're
Anyways,
6'5"
let's go.
and a handsome man.
Thank you.
So what I was saying is, I think that Tesla will have to. I mean, we know that Tesla are obviously making their cars, and Elon very much, as Paula says here, he likes to make big statements and make big things happen. For example,
I think Elon is one of the geniuses of our time.
he is certainly spreading himself rather thin, though, in
He
regards
is.
to many of these things projects that he's working on. I think that with all these other companies producing electronic cars with extended range, which hasn't been seen in the past, they're catching up very, very quickly to Tesla.
I think so too.
I do think that Tesla certainly has a very much a focused following, you might say, of these people that are very much early adopters. But I think when the mass market comes into play, that we're going to see more options for people, especially when they don't need to charge it on the go. If the idea, if you have more than 200 miles, which generally, how many people in the real world drive more than 200 miles in a day? It's very, very few.
Exactly.
I mean, majority of people, no one I know drives 100 miles to somewhere and then drives
No.
100 miles back.
I mean, even
So
if
the idea that
yeah.
you could charge it just at home, you never. My wife's favorite thing about our electric car is she doesn't have to stop at a petrol station.
Yeah, that's
Right,
awesome,
right.
isn't it?
She
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
So
Never.
And you save money, you know.
it's a great thing. I mean, then if you've got other things that if you have the ability to do other things around it, so you've got your EV panels that you can charge, you've got the battery that you can hold and you can store and do it yourself. I mean, it is the way forward. This is where things are going. So it's Tesla, while being the forefront at the time, I think are going to be slipping back moving forward.
I think so too. But
I think come 2020, when the other cars come under thing, I think that's when the change is going to really happen.
and I think Elon should just concentrate on putting satellites and stuff into space. I think Amazon's going to the moon.
I think Tesla's here to stay, man.
I think they're here to stay, but I think it's good. I think they're going to be
so ahead of everyone though right now. I mean, even like the way they update software.
I have to admit,
they do it over the air, guys. You don't even have to bring your car into.
Well, that's what Volkswagen says they're having a problem doing.
They also have the private cameras facing the drivers as well that are not turned on, but they could be. If you so,
that's
if the Russians want to see you,
well, or if the Tesla wants to see you, they can turn on those cameras that are facing inwards. So, I mean, there's lots of thoughts into how it might play out, but I think there's lots of things that are going to happen before that.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting.
So what's next? Sam?
Next is I didn't include this in our because this just came up. This is the Type 64 Porsche. It's one of the first cars that Ferdinand Porsche actually designed. And it was built to run in. There was only 3 of these built, and it was built to run in the. I think it was the Berlin to Rome rally. I can't know. It's one of those. It's about that, like 1,500 kilometers. Okay. This thing is going to be going on sale at I think Sotheby's or somewhere. They're saying it might go $20 million. So that's what they're forecasting. It is a really interesting looking car, isn't it? I mean, it looks so futuristic. You could think, gosh dang, I mean, Ferdinand Porsche was really ahead of his time. I mean, look at the aerodynamics, covering up the wheel wells and everything. Yeah. So, yes.
Well, I was just going to say the Art Deco design, that is beautiful, but Jim is a very smart man. He has sided with me, Sam, in the discussion, and he thinks you are wrong.
About what?
EVs.
What do you mean?
Just doesn't matter, Sam. You're wrong. That's what Jim said.
I think EVs
James
are going
is
to
right.
stay. I don't know what he's talking about.
Sam is wrong. You can talk to him about that afterwards. But Jim,
you agreed with me. Tesla is going to be feeling.
Sam, it doesn't matter.
Wait. How does Jim say that
look,
I'm wrong and you're right when we agreed?
Sam, you've got this. I've got this. It's all right. It's okay.
We agreed. How can one be right and one be wrong when we agreed?
But more importantly, Sam,
yeah.
I think we should talk about some other air-cooled Porsches.
Oh, you know what? That's a good segue into something really wonderful happened this past weekend.
Nipples. No, not Tara's nipples.
But my T-shirt. No, this is actually not from this event. It's from the old event.
We'll get rid of those horrible photos. And
no files.
They're not. Are you saying those are not road and track approved photos, Sam? Would they've done something differently there?
Probably not. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Let's go back and we'll do this. So, because there's just so many cars. I can't see these, but why don't you tell us about what you did this past weekend, James and Taro?
Sure. Go ahead, James.
Well, I got up very early in the morning and headed over to the Universal Studios backlot to wait in a line to get into the parking structure to go see Luftgekuhlt.
How long did you have to wait in line for this, to get in? We didn't have to wait too long, but I heard people that showed up at 10 a.m., they waited for a good hour to get on the bus.
Wow.
Yeah, to get on the bus.
Well, no. Well, I got there before the gates officially opened, which is why they didn't let anyone else. They were very much.
I see.
And then they opened the gates early at 7:15 to let cars go into the parking lot.
Right.
And they staggered the media coming in.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I waited in line.
Okay.
But I had some nice conversation. Then we're on the bus, etc. But I got into the event for 7:55.
Okay,
so
yeah,
I got
that's
in 5 minutes early.
kind of like when we got in. Then we arrived around 8.
Okay, I don't care what time you guys in.
No, this
let
is
us know what kind of
we're
cars
just
were
kind of
there. How
explaining
many
the
cars?
scale of the event. There were I would say there were at
Universal
least
backlot. That's
3,000 people there. What do you
They
think?
sold 6,000 tickets.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, sold 6,000 tickets. From what I understand, 370 Porsches on display. But when I left at 10, just after 10:30ish, or between 10 and 11.
Okay. There were people still coming in when we were leaving.
No, that's when the 10 a.m. tickets started.
Yeah.
So it was a real good event. The having the back lot there and having the cars in locations. I mean, you could take. I mean, even I took. I don't know if these photos are road and track approved, but
No, these are nice. There's a 906.
So there's a lot of great cars and a lot of great locations, and there was a lot.
It's amazing
of
cars. Why don't you tell us what the Luftgekuhlt
What it means?
Oh, no, what it means and what it is. It's, you know, I mean, you haven't really described.
Sure. So Luftgekuhlt means air-cooled in German. And so this car show celebrates the German cars made by Porsche that were all air-cooled vehicles.
Thank you.
Which I think leads up, the last one was the 993, I think, from memory.
1979,
probably.
I think, right?
What?
Right?
No. 993 was 1990s.
Yeah, 90s.
No, 89. Wasn't
No, 993
That's
was.
964. The 993, I think, is the last one. But I could be wrong.
993 is the, well, 911 wise, 993 is the last one.
Yeah.
Because after that was the 996, which was the water-cooled one.
Yes, so that's the era.
Yeah.
So this, that era of Porsches all the way back. And it's a collection of cars. So it's not just the best. It's cars that have stories attached to them as well.
How many have these Luftgekults have
This
there
is the
been?
sixth year. There's been a selection before. I think the first one was at the Bandito Brothers. Second one was...
I think the first one was in Venice in the Deus Ex.
No,
Machina.
that was the second
Was
one, I
that the
think.
second
Yeah,
one?
the Bandito Brothers, I think, was the
Ooh,
first
there's a
one.
917K.
one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an awesome car.
Third one was
Was at Modernica.
Modernica.
And then the fourth one was the Port of Long Beach. Fifth was at the
Lumberyard.
Lumberyard.
Yeah, I
And
remember that
sixth
one.
was here at Universal. It's going to be interesting to see how they pip that and where they go next.
How can they top that backdrop?
I don't know
mean,
how
that's
they're
awesome.
going to top this.
Well, as DC Chavez put
amazing.
together, he said that maybe they take it to Mars next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the backdrop on this, I mean, looking at that 917 short tail, in front of that sign, I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
the backdrop was like perfect because they used a fair good amount
I
of the
stopped it there
backlot.
just because
So
I
they
like
used
that
all
car.
like the city settings.
It's not going anymore.
They
No, so I
used.
think it's going back to the
They
front.
had cars in the like the western country western
And
section.
The
and-
next photo we're going to come up when it pops across in your screenshot when it comes through. There it is. That is Rod Chong's 935X, a car with a history of it.
935, yep.
He found
935 race car.
that in when he went to Gatville. He bought it there, and then it stood-
Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had it in England for a time when he was living there, and then it's been sat in out here in Ontario, a Busy Motors workshop, while it's been there before deciding what they're going to do with it. That
Yeah,
is
that was-
obviously one of Jeff Zwart's.
A lot of, yeah. Jeff Swart's one of the
He's
people
one of
putting
the
it together, right? Yeah,
founders,
yeah.
I
He's,
think,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Howie,
I've worked
Pat,
with him
and
at
Jeff,
Road and Track. He's a great driver, great guy, and amazing photographer. Oh, great director too. So
and the videographer.
yeah, director, videographer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 935, as you all know, is the racing version of the 911. 1976 was when it was introduced. It says here, so it's an amazing car. 936. They have here
That's-
too. They also.
But did you have
the-
fun, Tara?
Yeah, I had a great time. It was awesome. I mean, not just like looking at looking
these
at
cars.
awesome cars,
Yeah.
but I mean there was just so
Shout out
many
to John
great
Sibal, his
cars.
RWB there that just popped up on screen.
906.
All
Yeah.
classic race cars. I mean the
And the
setting was just
917s
awesome.
are just,
And I think-
just these
And it
917s
was,
out there.
what I liked about this was it was a good setting where there was some shade, so you weren't out in the hot sun. It wasn't a car park, which
right.
made it different. And you could also catch up with people. So I got to catch up with a lot of friends that I saw
Yeah.
out there.
Do you
which is nice.
secure some interviews for your no braking? It's a great place to secure interviews. no?
Hopefully,
Hopefully,
Sam.
hopefully.
Hopefully, Sam.
How long did you guys end up staying there?
I was 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh, that's not that long. I thought you guys would be doing.
Well, we had lunch there, so
Okay. They had food trucks.
yeah. So they had food in front of the Back to the Future.
Oh,
town
the
square.
town. Oh, very cool.
So they had like picnic tables out and people like eating.
Oh, they didn't have the cars there though, huh?
No, they had cars.
Oh, cars
too.
there
They
too.
had cars
Oh, okay.
sprinkled all around. You know, remember the gas station in Back
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
Future?
yeah,
So
totally.
Porsche Classic took that over, and they had like
All
parts
kinds of.
yeah, all like old tools, and they had like a chassis in there. It was just like cool, like this
There you
picture.
go.
See,
Behind,
town
Sam.
square.
Ah,
The city
okay.
hall. That's where Marty McFly.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see it on there. Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Was there a particular car that you go, oh, that's my favorite? If it's a car
The
show,
one
so if
right
there's
behind
a,
your head. So.
Yeah, this one was nice.
oh, I probably missed it, but which
No,
one
that
was
one.
it?
The 911, the Golf.
Oh, yeah, okay, the
And then,
917K,
but, yes,
the
that-
917
that's
short
the one-
tail.
Obviously, I'd want to have, because you could sell that and buy many other cars.
It's a Mark
But then,
Donahue car, dominated Le Mans. It's a great car.
I think then one of the 959s they had there, because they had three, I
Ooh,
think.
they did.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so I think one of the
959s,
Canopea
yeah.
959s would be very nice.
Nice. Yeah, Canopy.
The predecessor to the 911
Rod
Turbo.
Emery had a bunch of his 356 like resto mods
yeah,
out there.
his latest one
Yeah.
for
The Momo one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was there on display.
What about you?
I
One
liked
you-
all the rally Porsches there. They had
They had a lot of- yeah, it
the
looked like they had a lot of
Western
rally
and like
Porsches.
old Mexico setting.
Did you like the new old ones, the Kelly Motorsport ones that they had there? They had two, I think, on display. They had Matt Farah's and
Yeah,
had
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
Kelly Motorsport ones,
I saw Matt out there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, his car's awesome.
Yeah.
That
Were
thing-
you the one that drew the penis on it, Tara?
No, I didn't. I saw Matt's picture and I cracked up looking at it. But I loved
It
how
wasn't
they
Sam
had.
because he didn't attend.
Yeah, I had stuff to do. I could not go. I wanted to go, but I couldn't go.
Yeah, but all the rally 911s were my favorites that were
Yeah.
out there.
Oh, okay.
But it was a
Very
great
cool.
day out.
Yeah, it sounds
It
like
was
a great
great
day.
day.
Any race
Awesome.
drivers? Any celebrity race
Derek
drivers?
Bell,
Derek
was
Bell?
there.
Cool.
Justin Bell was there. Hurley Haywood was there.
Oh, Hurley Haywood's there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
A couple of other ones.
I saw it was funny.
Well, it's Warwick. He's kind of a celebrity
so
himself.
McDreamy was there.
Who?
McDreamy.
Patrick Dempsey.
Oh, Patrick Dempsey.
So there's a big sign of the Universal's next, like Fast and the Furious, the spin-off movie, the one with The Rock and Jason.
Yeah.
Jason.
Oh,
Hobbs
yeah,
and- yeah.
Hobbs and something.
And
yeah.
so I was looking at it. I took a picture of the poster,
Uh-huh.
and then I was walking into the hangar, which the big poster was on,
And then Jason came towards you.
came
Jason
out.
Statham came.
Yeah,
oh,
he came.
Why
out.
didn't you take a picture?
Well, I mean, he was with his kid, and he was
Oh,
with
he has
his
a kid?
family
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. So I didn't. Well, I just
Yeah, he's married to a Superman, really tall.
I didn't see. I didn't see.
Well, obviously not as tall as you, Sam, at 6'5".
Yeah, not as tall as you.
Maybe
But
in
it
the
was
heels she is.
cool though. You know, a bunch of celebrities there. Someone said they saw Jim Carrey.
Oh, really? He was
Yeah.
there? I wonder if Seinfeld
I
was there.
didn't
He's
see-
a big
He
Porsche
was
guy.
there.
Seinfeld was there
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Sounds like a great show.
It
man.
was great,
And
yeah.
you got right in because you went earlier, right?
Well, I had media credentials as well. So yeah.
Oh, okay. How about you?
I had media credentials.
Oh, so you got right in.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. How much were they selling tickets for? Do you guys know?
I thought it was 60.
60.
Well, that's kind of worth it, man, for all those
60?
cars. Yeah.
Yeah, but they sold out in 36 hours.
Really? Yeah, I would think so.
And I think that they would have liked to have sold more, but they were limited by university amount of people.
Because probably fire and all that
Yeah.
safety stuff.
And I think it being as it was universal, they could be able to maybe dictate a few things as well. in
Yeah, I'm
regards
sure
to
they
how we
could.
run.
Yeah. Well, moving on. It sounds like a great day. I can't wait to see what they do next. Where they
Mars.
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's going to be hard to
Catalina Island.
Yeah.
hard to
Somewhere.
this.
Yeah.
Epic.
So, I see an RC 350 here, Lexus. The reason it's up here is one of us lucky guys got to drive it.
Yeah, I got to have it for a week. Lex was kind enough to give it one. It was a real fun car. I mean, obviously I did the LC before, which we talked about on this show. But this was my first time getting into the RC 350. It was just a great car to go around town. I think it sits about 311 horsepower. It was just super quiet, which is one of the good things about it, which is what I liked about it. It was nice.
It was. I drove one from here to Monterey a couple years ago for the Monterey Historic. It was the 350. It wasn't the F. Oh, it was so comfortable, so
Yeah.
fun to do. It was so nice to drive. It was just a comfortable car.
Yeah,
So,
it's just a good drive. If everything fitted in, you could put stuff in the back. So it was a nice, good, reliable car. It was a good-looking car. Yeah,
Totally car you could live with.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think it comes in at just over 50,000.
Which isn't too bad these days.
I mean,
for a
obviously,
car
I'm
like
not
this.
on making the money you are, Sam. But yeah, I can pocket a couple of these. But no, it was a really good car. Really enjoyed it. It was worth it.
And James, your full review is up on gtchannel.com now.
Oh, it is. That's fantastic. Because people
is?
can read
It
that,
is.
and they can
Did
also
I-
read it on
You
no.
read
Yeah,
Break.
yeah, I did. I edited it. So
I'm still waiting to see what those edits were, Sam.
dude, it reads like Shakespeare now.
Oh,
so
that's
you're
what we
being
need.
good shape.
Thanks to your changes.
Even the spec box reads like Shakespeare after
Oh,
I
that's
got done
good.
with it. All right.
Good.
There's another car someone else drove, going from Japan to Korea.
Yeah, do you mean
Is that you
by
again?
someone else? Do you mean me? Yeah. So it's the Kia K900
You're a resident
luxury.
test evaluator.
Yeah. So and I believe the review will be up shortly on GT Channel. Because you have that there, Tara, to put up this weekend.
Yes, I do.
And it will also be available on nobreaking.com. But in short, I thought this was a very nice car. 65,000. You talked about,
$65,000 for a Kia.
but
It's a
You
good
know,
looking car.
That's looks okay, but I mean, 60. Okay.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know
65,
for
if
a
you think-
Kia.
If
You know.
you think it's a Kia, it's expensive.
Yeah.
well, of course, it's
I mean,
$20,000 more than the next closest Kia for
There
the
you
most
go.
expensive
There you
one. So
go.
it's a significant price jump. But I will say this: there is lots of room in the back. More than there's about as much room in the back as in that the
Lexus
Yes,
minivan.
yes. So
But you don't have a 26-inch TV in
No,
front
you
of
don't have the 26-inch TV. You just have to have great
TV is
conversation
so-
with your driver. But
Yeah,
what I
I
do
don't
like
know
about
about
this
that.
car, it has a chauffeur mode, so you can press the button and it pushes the driver's seats up, so you get more legroom in the back.
You mean you
Even-
could
even Sam
while
at
he's
6'5"?
driving? Yeah.
Yes.
But while he's driving,
I think it's
that's
the
kind of
chauffeur.
dangerous, isn't it?
No, safety first in this car. So one thing I do really like about this car, though, is when you put the indicator on to turn left or right, it comes up and shows you all your blind spots in the black in the dash. So it'll take the tach and it'll take the speedometer away. So speedo's on the left, so that goes away, and it'll be a digital readout of display, but shows you what the image is, so you don't have to like look over your shoulder for blind spots.
I think
it's really, really handy.
I think some other cars have that feature now.
Well, I'm not saying they don't, Sam, but for $65,000, I thought it was a very good feature that some more expensive cars don't have. But it was a very, very comfortable car. It's very quiet, so it is. It's a good car. The only challenge that if people, I don't want to give too much away because they can obviously read the full story, but like you said, it is the idea of paying $64,000 plus change in this for this car as a Kia. It's a different story. They might need to look at it and doing something similar to what Hyundai have recently done and separated Hyundai and Genesis. Done a copy of what Toyota did with Lexus.
Right.
I think that seems prudent for Kia to do moving forward.
I think so, but
If they're gonna do that,
Hyundai and Kia are the same company, so
Yeah.
you know.
Why
so,
didn't they just, why didn't they just make it a Genesis? then?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, this is it. When you look at the specs, this one sits nicely between the G80 and the G90 for them. So I can understand why they do it, but then I think they also wanted to make a prominence in saying that Kia has a top car too. But they don't sell many of them here in the US. I think they need to sell more.
But this is a car you could easily live with.
I incredibly easily live with.
But
The boot is massive. I mean, the boot on this thing is absolutely huge.
$65,000, would this be the car you would buy, or no? Maybe you.
Well, I mean, you could compare. You could quite easily.
Yeah. What would the competitors be? Would it be LS is a little more expensive, isn't it?
The LS 500, if you want to
Yeah.
compare it, that's 125,000.
So
So there is a significant difference there. I
okay.
mean, you're looking at. I mean, you could spec up and talk about the equivalent of being, say, a Volvo S90. I think that starts a little cheaper, but when you add all the add-ons on, then it
gets
gets
evened up?
Not even. It goes over.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I think if you spec up considerably like the European spec cars against this, they're sitting maybe 10 grand more.
So even at 65,000, we kind of jump because it's a $65,000 Kia. But for $65,000 for this much car, it's a relative bargain.
No,
You're
I think
actually getting a pretty
Yeah,
good
it's a
deal.
lot of
deal.
car
Yeah.
for the money.
I think if you're a hotel, for example, and you sent to pick someone up from the airport in this car, they put the bags in the back and you sat them in the car, they think it was a very nice
chauffeur.
They
Yeah.
they think it would be a very nice car and they wouldn't know it was a Kia. So I think this car offers a luxury. I think, for example, if you
Just
were
take off the badges.
I think, say, if you were a rideshare driver and you were doing the utmost luxury and things, then this is a perfect car for you.
Ah, okay.
I see.
So all you Lyft and Uber drivers.
That's what you need to go for to get the extra 20%.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so 2 thumbs up, right? 2 cars, 2 thumbs up.
Agreed.
Okay, and then that brings us to the end of our show. So, any parting words
What's
from
this?
either of you guys?
What's-
This is just a screensaver at the.
Is that the
Yeah,
prototype novel? Who?
Oh, I wonder who wrote that.
Is that you, Sam Matani?
I wonder who that was.
Is that now
prototype
available?
Audible. It's
It
Audible.
should never have
yes.
existed, but now the world's fate depends on its survival.
Such a good
Very.
read.
The prototype.
Also approved by Nigel McKeon. He did very much enjoy the book, Sam.
No, did he read it?
Nigel McKeon and Grace McKeon have given it 2 thumbs up and
Are you-
2
are you
big
serious?
toes up.
Are you serious?
Sam, when am I not serious?
Probably 50% of the time.
So there you go. This is the 50% time that I am serious.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you, Nigel. And Grace, was it?
Yes.
Thank you, Grace. I'm glad you read it, unlike this guy.
read
You
it?
read
I
it.
can't read. So that's the problem.
That's
we
why
have.
you see that Audible.
Okay,
There's an
that's why I
Audible
thought-
version,
of
right?
it.
I should have had you do the narration because
Next time,
Well,
Sam.
I don't. The publisher did that. So and
the
the person who
prototype
read
too.
the reader at first I go, he sounds robotic, but once you get used to it, I go, hey, it's pretty good. So I think that's how it's supposed to be. But anyways, with that British accent, would have been really nice, you know. So, I'm sorry. Parting words, you guys.
Well, obviously, everyone can listen to the No Braking podcast. They can find it on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify. They can also look and find my reviews at the nobraking.com website and follow me at NoBraking on Facebook and Instagram.
And your reviews on GTchannel.com.
That's fantastic.
And your
Right.
reviews on GT Channel. GTchannel.com recently got a little renewal. Videos are enhanced. We're going to be enhancing more videos as we come. Micro moments are in the videos, so basically they are videos with hyperlinks. Something new that we're trying out. Hope you guys check it out. You can also visit us on Facebook for our live stream shows and all our videos on youtube.com, and obviously on Instagram at GT Channel.
Great, and I have nothing to plug except the book, which you can buy on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all your
And
finest
if
online
people want
sites.
to purchase GT Channel T-shirts like this, where should they go?
Go to gtchannel.com. You'll probably see a link.
Which is handy.
Okay.
You'll probably see a link.
And Sam, do you have any parting words?
If not, hit us up.
for our viewers.
The only thing I could say is I wish everyone a great week and Podspeed to you guys all. Okay?
All right.
All right, see you guys.
Next show in
Bye-bye.
about a month again.